Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. He's ever living, He's ever faithful, and He's ever sure. Welcome to ReggaeTelevisionNetwork.com. We're coming to you live from Scarborough, Ontario in our studio. And if it's Saturday, it's the Sabbath, and you know I am bound to remind you to read Psalms 119. Psalm 119, it's the cleansing psalm. It gives you vigor for the week ahead, and it teaches you how to live. Well, we're very pleased this morning to have in our studio Friendliness. And he's going to perform for us this morning his first song, and it's called Take a Stand. Here's Friendliness.
ReggaeTelevisionNetwork.com. Friendliness and human rights. So blessing up to all freedom fighters, human rights defenders. Yeah? I like to take a stand for the upliftment and unification of those oppressed within the Canadian community. Right here, right now. Blessings on one and all. Yeah. So take a stance, brother, and just take a stance. And take a stance, sister, just take a stance. Human rights for all, you know. Hey, take a stance, brother, and just take a stance. And take a stance, sister, just take a stance. We come to take a stance, what I want on the planet. People used to make it, now they just can't manage. System of the people under fear and panic. In fact, human rights, you want panic, yo. When who's at the control, tell me who I manage. Earth again, hotter yet the flames we are vanished. In a Canada, yo, with their arsenic. All over the world, the people just can't stand it. Yo, the things we do for profit. And we know the people not see nothing of it. Right now, we are begging up to stop it, or else a protest and road block it. So take a stance, brother man, just take a stance. Humanitarian stance, you know. And take a stance, sister, just take a stance. Human rights for coming on. Hey, take a stance, brother man, just take a stance. And take a stance, sister, just take a stance. Listen. I tell you, children have to stand up for something. Enough of them a clown and them not stand for nothing. Can't go aside with no ism and schism. No consumerism and no materialism. Know the thing rough, we know it tough, we know it hard. That no means saying not be sell up in a fraud. Burn up McDonald's, not a shop of Walmart. They're poison up the people like a poison dart. Almighty dwelling at the secret part. Secret part of your soul and your heart. Turn off your light and step in at the dark. Listen to the silence, hear the Almighty talk. And then you wouldn't know what is the right way to walk. Yeah. And then you wouldn't know what is the right way to talk. Bless the Lord, one and all. He's a disciple no more, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're revolutionary. Alright, here part you now. Listen good. Cause nowadays slave and not chain for no hand. Now it's me number and combination. 6746761. Where the yo them get that from? Who say I and the revelation? So man and woman start the revolution. Get up and stand up and raise up your hand and sing the song and take a stance, brother, and just take a stance. And take a stance, sister, just take a stance. Standing up right here, right now, worldwide. Take a stance, brother, and just take a stance. Human rights for one and all. And take a stance, sister, just take a stance. Friendliness and the human rights. Side up, side up. We fight up, and side up, side up. The people stand up, yeah. Side up, side up. And vibes up, vibes up. Friendliness and human rights.
Wow, come on over here.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, my pleasure.
What a great performance.
Thank you.
Soul, you got soul in there.
I believe it. You know, I believe in what I do. It comes from the heart.
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel it and I hear it. Yes, Rastafarian.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I have to start off by saying, would you please tell the people how much you love, how much you feel for Rastafarian? Because I feel it.
Well, Rastafari to me is life, you know. I mean, I've started learning about His Majesty the King from a very young age. I'm kind of old now, so my search has you know, fulfilled itself in the culmination of a true loving heart, love for creation, you know. That's what His Majesty really teach me, is just love for all, you know. So I really love His Majesty, who really brought me to the love of life, you know. Yeah.
Wow, for us Rastas who feel that vibe, we know exactly what you're saying and how you feel. And it really comes through in your music, it comes through in your lyrics, you know, and it comes through in your vibes.
Well, thanks. I mean, all praises to His Majesty, because really His guidance and His teaching is really, it's so complete. Can cover any subject. I mean, any subject that comes up, you're just ready to say, well, you know, what His Majesty says about this is, you know, or what His Majesty says about that.
Right.
So it's such great
so
guidance.
No big brain, you know, swell to try and figure it out. It's
and no gaps, you know.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. It comes together nicely. It makes a big whole that just is really just lovely. Yeah. Wow, that's great. Now, you have been doing this from 1989, so you've been in this business a long time.
Professionally since 89.
Since 89, before you had to learn your craft.
Yeah, before that we had our little high school band and things like that, but professionally, you know, doing it as a thing that you actually earn a living out of, since 89.
So your little high school band, was that reggae or was
that
something?
Yeah, it was reggae. No, the high school band was called Jayu.
Jayu.
Yeah, it was actually the lead singer for that group was a singer named Destridon. From here in Toronto. Some people might know that name from a younger time.
See, that's what I love about Rasta, is that, you know, even when you're young and you don't really know him or haven't heard of him or really shouldn't have because you're so different from what it's supposed to be, he has this way of just saying, you know what, you're mine, and he just has a way of calling you no matter where you are.
That's true.
No matter who you are.
It just permeates all societies. I mean, you find Rastas all over the world now. I think in every country you might find a Rasta.
There you go. Because once he came, it was over. It was like he was going to be here for good, and that was it.
Well, it's true. I mean, and His Majesty is really, like we say, is like a real great shining light shining from the east to the west. So, I mean, really, if anyone has that inkling to go check it out or look, it's unmistakable, undeniable.
Wow.
Can't miss it.
That's wonderful. So that first release, what are they doing on the land?
Yeah.
What were you thinking at that time, and why did you release that?
Well, at that time, that was around, I think I wrote the song maybe in about 1986, 87. That time Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev were running the planet.
Yes.
And people will remember the modern BP oil spill, but that time was the Exxon Valdez spill.
Right.
And I think that was one of the first times in modern history where so much oil had leaked into the waters. And I remember just seeing on the news all the animals covered with oil. And it was just like, really, like, what's going on the planet? You know, like, what are they doing on this land? You know, like, it was one of the first times that it was clear to me that the cash was running the program. It wasn't so much about people caring about nature or the environment or some sort of sustaining of the planet. It was just cash that was running the thing.
Money.
Yeah, because I mean, even the way the whole thing went down and then what happened afterwards, it was just very apparent that that was the new program, you know.
And so that led you to write the song?
Yes, and I wrote the song. And I mean, if you listen to the words of that song, it's a pretty conscious song, I guess. So I mean, ever since I started writing songs, I was writing social commentary songs. You know?
So do you just read the newspapers, watch what's going on, or you know, how do you get your subject?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Most of it really just comes from inspiration. So I guess it's like the conversations that you have with people, things you might see on the news, things you read in the Bible, things you read from His Majesty's speeches. You know, it's just reggae music. You know, it's like what's going on. So like no matter what's going on, you might write a song that has
an ancient connotation. You know what I mean? You might have a song that's got a very new connotation. You might have a song that's about what happened today, last week.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Somewhat like the Bible, it covers the past, the present, and the future.
Right.
So that's really good because you're living in the moment. You're living in the moment, and but of course you have connection to the past, and you have hope for the future.
Truly.
Yeah. So if you have that connection there, you have to side up Rastafari. That's just the way it is.
Here and now.
Here you go. So Revelation is a band that included a stalwart of this industry, Bernie Pitters.
The great legendary Bernie Pitters.
Yeah. And of course Gary Lowe, whom I'm just getting to know from pictures here that you brought with you.
Well, Gary Lowe is actually a Toronto legend foundation of that same kind of caliber of Bernie Pitters. I mean, you hear a lot of people talking nowadays about Bernie Pitters, a great keyboard player who's worked with so many artists here in Toronto and helped produce rhythm tracks, and people know him from Livestock Band and Hit Squad Band, but really Gary Lowe was doing all that same work from that time, you know, up until now, and I was real fortunate to play with Gary, Bernie, from those days up until now.
Yeah. So you got foundation, you got inspiration, you got passion.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is the package, is it?
Well, here I am. Here we are.
That's right. And ReggaeTelevisionNetwork.com is so happy to have you here, so we can highlight this and express how much you are, you are valuable in
thank you very much.
Community.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate love that.
Great stuff. Now, Jah the Earth's Rightful Ruler is a 45 that you released in '89 also.
45 right? That I released in '89. Here it is right here. It came with a nice little picture sleeve.
Yes.
So we had His Majesty on the front.
Yes.
And then here you had an ancient, well, this was a painting I think from the 18th century. And so you had His Majesty on the front, and then this is a painting of the 18th century of someone's vision of the modern Christ. Christ in his kingly character. So this was this painting is from a couple years even before the birth of His Majesty.
Before His Majesty, that is almost like identical.
And
Yeah. It reminds me of when you read his story and how the ancient people in Ethiopia at the time of his birth were anticipating it.
Oh, yeah.
They were expecting it. You know. So he really came and just kind of fell into the place where he's supposed to. He manifest what people were saying would happen. And
it's true, and I remember something that was shocking to me, because I remember at one time a friend of mine, Organs, I don't know if you know of this performer Organs, but he had given me some audio cassettes of His Majesty when he was in Canada, riding across Canada on the train, and they did some interview with him.
Wow.
And the interviewer even asks him, he says, His Majesty, like millions of Christians in Ethiopia and some Rastafarians in Jamaica believe that you are the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. And that was the first time that I had actually heard millions of Christians in Ethiopia believe that. You know what I mean? Because all you hear about Rastafari, it's people in Jamaica had this revelation. That it really that it was people in Jamaica who had that kind of revelation to sight up the king.
Yes.
But then you hear this interviewer say, well, millions of Christians in Ethiopia.
In Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So he was recognized in his own land.
By many.
Millions,
And rejected by some.
Of course. Because remember, I remember during his time he was here on earth as His Majesty, people didn't leave Ethiopia. They didn't see Ethiopians outside of Ethiopia. It's just after he left, they started to migrate because things got, pretty much rough for them there.
Things got really, really, really bad in Ethiopia after His Majesty's time, They say that Mengistu was like Africa's bloodiest dictator. Yeah,
nothing compared to the other one in, Idi Amin. People forget that, Mengistu was really quite brutal in Ethiopia.
Yeah, treated the people real bad.
Yeah, and didn't respect anything that His Majesty had laid down.
But then you see that all had to crumble and fall, and now the people in Ethiopia are starting to recognize and appreciate, His Majesty's works and the ancient monarchy, and you have some people who are trying to push for the restoration of the monarchy in Ethiopia.
Yeah. So then none of them realized how lucky they were to have him.
It's true. It's true.
Wow. It's so Friendliness. You formed Friendliness and Human Rights in 2007. Now, how did that come about? Because, you've worked with so many people. I know Bernie was part of that too?
Yeah, Bernie was. Basically any music project that I've done throughout my years, except for maybe like Raggadeth, Bernie wasn't in that, but any music program that I've done has basically included Bernie Pitters. And I was working with Truths and Rights from about 2003 till about 2005, and then that project kind of came to a close. I'd taken a bit of a break from music for a couple of years just to kind of, you know, sort myself out. And I was kind of like, I don't know if it was, I was just, you know, I was searching to see, okay, well, I've been in this band, so many different projects. Is it time to give it a rest now? Should I move on? And at the same time as I was contemplating that, it just kind of magically all came together. And I met the drummer for Friendliness and Human Rights, and he had actually come up to me where I was working my little day job, and he goes, "Hey, I know who you are." And I said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Oh yeah, man, I love that Truths and Rights CD, and you know, I'm a drummer, and I got a little bass player friend, and sometimes we jam out. Well, we jam out every week. Sometimes we even put on that Truths and Rights disc, and we do a little jam out to your music." And I was like, "Wow, that's great." He's like, "Yeah, you should come hang out with us, come jam." And I was, same time I was just thinking about, okay, well maybe I should start a new project, and then. So it really just kind of formed really organic, started jamming with them, roped Bernie back in, a couple more musicians, and it's been going on for about 5 years now. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's
it
great.
keeps growing, we're up to like eight members now.
Wow.
Horn section.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Because you know, a great reggae band is valuable. Because when you go to a reggae concert and you hear that band starts off, it's like the whole world just lift off your shoulder.
Well, it's very true. It's very different from, say, like a CD performance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The live band thing is very magical because, you know, you really like, it's the difference between a digital reprogression and somebody hitting that snare drum with a stick. You know? Bass coming right through the bass and all in your face and rumbling up your chest.
Wow, I hear it. It's so true because I tell you, I can always feel how a concert's going to start with just how it begins with that first, that first sound. Yeah. And in our band, we've always made it a point to try to have that same kind of magical impact with music, because music can be really magical. You know, if you do it properly, you do it right, it has that same impact that you're talking about. You know, as opposed to like guys kind of not knowing what's going on. Yeah. Each member's looking at each other.
Yeah. It's time to finish the song, and everyone's kind of. Singers turn around going, you know, so we tried to get out all of that and make it like, okay, come on, and boom!
Yes.
Song's done, boom!
Yes.
And people go, wow.
Yes. People are impressed with that because people want to feel the vibes, they want to continue. They don't want you to kill the vibes.
Well, they want to feel the magic of the music. So the presentation is part of it.
Well, that's great because professionalism is something that's appreciated. You know, this week alone we saw where poor Beaver was 2 hours late for a concert and they booed him in England when he probably would have been cheering him if he had just come out on time.
Yeah, it's a long time to wait for a bunch of teeny boppers.
Yeah, 2 hours? What were you thinking, man? You know, but then again,
life happens, you know.
Hey, we've stand around and waited for a reggae concert to get started like a couple of hours, so that's another thing we want to.
Yeah, one time I saw Morgan Heritage in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and they came on at 5 in the morning.
What?
5.
5 in the morning? What were they doing? Sleeping before they come?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were praying in the church. You know?
Well, that's great. Now, because of your hard work and your professionalism, of course, your name has gone around, and people, when international people come into town, they usually get the person that they can depend on. And it seems to me like you and your band has been there for big names like with Bernie. You got you opened for Gregory Isaac. You opened for John Holt. You know. So was that good fortune or was that like good management?
Well, when we opened for Gregory, that was actually our first official gig as Friendliness and Human Rights. So I remember going to the band and I was like, "Hey, Virgin," I was like, "Yeah, I got a gig for us." What's the gig? They're thinking it's probably some little bar down. Yeah, we're going to open for Gregory Isaac.
Wow.
So they were super excited for that. But I would have to say that was really good fortune because at the time, if you listen to the CD, we have a couple of tracks with Trey's on. I was doing some works with Trey's on. I don't know if you know him, but he's another very talented singer-songwriter from here in Toronto, and he was working, his personal manager at the time was Mr. Jiggs, who was running a production company called Brown Eyes Entertainment. At that time was putting on a lot of the big stage shows here in Toronto. Gregory brought John Holt, did a great show with Luciano, Queen Ifrica, and Barris, and I forget some other shows, but Collie Buds, they did a really good show with Collie Buds in Capleton. So because of my connection with Trace on, Mr. Jiggs knew the band, looking for, opening acts, someone fresh, someone who's not going to charge him an arm and a leg too, because we were just starting out. Yeah, and someone who was, was going to bring something to the thing. So I would have to say it was a little bit of good fortune, right time, right place, you know?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. See, that's great because, I mean, I know this music has so much to give. And I know that, you know, there's a lot of obstacles to it because, you know, there's obstacles in everything. So when you really dedicate yourself to it and really put yourself out and it's recognized, that's something that is, you know, that is appreciated when people recognize the fact that you do put it in.
Yeah, it makes a difference. I think people, I mean, whether they would know like the fine tunings of what it is, maybe not, but they know the difference between those who have put in the hard work and those who are just trying to think.
Yeah, just get by.
Yeah, or it's just like, well, yeah, we just run it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that is where reggae, I think, as you know, as a genre of music, has got to start really showing that, you know, the people who are in it are serious, because there are serious musicians like yourself. But then you get the, you know, the play by that comes by, and they just want to play, and that's not right because it does weigh heavily on the genre.
It's true, but then that shows who's got the longevity in the business, who's gonna stay, who's gonna, you know, burn out and disappear.
Gonna burn out and disappear.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, we certainly don't want you to burn out and disappear because we like your style, we like your vibes, we like your lyrics, and we like the fact that it's all about His Majesty. Because everything we do is about His Majesty.
Love that.
Yes. So, talk to me about the next song you're going to be singing. So, that's called More Peace. Talk to us about that one before you go and perform.
Well, I'm going to give you the remix for More Peace. Okay. More Peace was included on the original One Thing CD, and it was me and the same singer I was just talking about, Trace, on. We were doing some work. I was actually helping him with the production of his record, but I was just so impressed with his talents and stuff. I was like, hey, you want to come sing a couple tracks on this CD? So then Sade had come up with the song Soldier of Love, and we were at this radio station one time doing an interview, and the DJ was playing it, and all of a sudden it was just so clear to me. It was like, this is the perfect rhythm for the remix of this track. We started singing it in the studio, and it was like, all right, let's go. But no instrumental version of this song existed.
Yes.
So we went through in the studio, listened to the track,
yes,
and took a bunch of parts of the track where Sade is not singing,
right,
and compiled our own instrumental track, made our own instrumental track. Me and Trezon voiced it. He's not here today, so I'm going to sing his part.
Okay.
But this is the remix version of More Peace. And this one actually got a lot of play because he was working with a few guys in England. He shot it to them. They shot it to all their guys all over Europe. Hit some charts in Italy, Germany, Russia, and all that. So
great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad you're here to do that for us because I like the title More Peace, and I like your style. So you go on back up there and do your second with us, and right. I will just let the people know here that we are so very happy to have Friendliness in the studio here in Scarborough with us live this morning, and he's going to do his second song for us, More Peace. So here is Friendliness, More Peace.
Yeah, more peace is what we want. Big up Trezon. Yeah. Right now we're asking for that drastic reduction in the military budgets of those so-called superpowers. Because it's more peace than we ever want. Alright? Ready for this? Remix. Check it.
More peace we want. Universal love, I sing on a chant. More peace we want. Yeah. Soldier man run, let your gun and go plant. More peace we want. Universal love, I sing on a chant. More peace we want. Hey, soldier man run, let your gun and go plant. I know the struggle for equality. It's up again some mobility. Don't make me destroy poverty. The only way you're gonna get some security. And if you come to the best of their ability, he's afraid of you and now you're not afraid of me. Terrorize the world, but no, them just can't terror we. Chant because of your anti-tyranny. Peace we want. Universal love, I just think on a chat. More peace we want. Yeah. Soldier man run, left your gun and go plant. More peace we want. Universal love, Rasta sing on the chant. More peace we want. Hey, soldier man run, left your gun and go plant. Look at the beautiful children. I know you really go to kill them. Look at the beautiful elders. You got them running for shelters. Look at the beautiful nature. So tell me how me good nature. Look at the beautiful garden. So just see how we come so far, then now peace we want. Universal love, I sing on the chart. More peace we want. Soldier man run left, they run and go flat. More peace we want. Universal love, I sing on the chart. More peace we want. Yes. Soldier man run left, they run and go flat. Come on. And we don't want no fuss round here. And we don't want no fight round here, yeah. And we don't want no war round here. Rastafari with our love beside that clear. No, we don't want no fuss round here. And we don't want no fight round here, yeah. No, we don't want no war round here. Rastafari with our love beside that clear. Cause of peace we want. Universal love, I just sing on the chant. More peace we want. Soldier man run left, run and go black. More peace we want. Yeah. Universal love, I just sing on the chant. More peace we want. Hey. Soldier man run left, run and go black. Give it to them this way. Give it to them always. Give it to them. Give it to them. Friendliness and HR. Give it to them this way. And we give it to them always. Give it to them. Sight. More peace we want. And the apartheid, Israeli, Palestinian. Yeah.
Whoa. Conscious lyrics.
Thank you.
More peace we want.
That's what His Majesty says.
Yes. Now you perform with that. What is that for the people who don't know?
Well, this is my Ethiopian Orthodox hand cross.
Yes.
That I actually brought back from Ethiopia. I made a little journey there in 2007.
Wow. Yes.
So usually I would have a mic in my hand. That's the thing, you know.
This is
sometimes I perform with this, sometimes I don't. But you know, if I don't have a mic,
yeah,
this gives me a little something, you know.
I'm glad you brought it because we don't need a mic in the studio, but you did a great job. I like that.
You know, and this I can bring down, you know. Spliff I didn't think would go over too well in the studio.
We're Rasta loving here.
We're lovely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk again about this Rude Boys 45. Now, it was the first nomination you had for Much Music Awards.
Yeah, Rude Boys 45. This was with Culture Shock Band. So Culture Shock Band again. Bernie Pitters, Gary Lowe, you know.
And it's a 45.
45, and this one we printed on, if you can see it, nice blue vinyl.
Nice blue. Yeah.
So that was a bit of a collector's item too.
Yes.
Yeah, I was nominated for a Much Music Video Award. At that time too, there was a lot of, you know, just kind of like what's going on now, there was a lot of violence going on in the streets, a lot of kids shooting kids and stuff. And you know, the message of this song was, rude boys, stop using a gun like it's a toy, you know.
Yeah. What's that about?
I don't know, man. To me, it still kind of boggles my mind that we have this little invention and people can just click a button.
And take
click a button and take a life. It's
yes.
like, I don't like your name, click.
Yes. And people,
I don't like your shoes, click.
Yay. And then the thing is that they built an industry around it, so people are making money.
And that's what I'm
from it.
saying, like, how is that allowed? How is that legal? I mean, okay, police should have guns.
Yes.
Soldiers should have guns.
Yes.
Everybody in the street? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so
right.
either. You know, and they're using, I mean, I know the Americans are very, very emotional and patriotic about their Second Amendment and all of that, and that's fine and everything. But I think that was written like in 17-something.
Before the invention of automatic assault rifles.
Yeah. And before people didn't live like, you know, close to each other. There were a lot of space between, and maybe if you had to protect yourself, you had to really have it on the spot. Now the police is around the corner, the fire is next to the police, the ambulance is, you know, over by the hospital, and, you know, your neighbor is there, and you don't need that kind of stuff.
It's true.
So we wish they would just kind of start thinking how Rasta feel about that and just say, look, let's get rid of all the guns, except for police and soldiers.
They should have it, but otherwise we should just turn them into, you know, garden shears and hoes and start plant up the land.
Yes, absolutely. Use them to cut weed and, you know, dig the soil so we can put seeds in the soil and seed grow.
Yeah, life instead of death,
life,
you know?
Life.
Yeah.
I tell you, we Rasta have to do it, because I don't think anyone else has the desire or, you know, or the feel
Well, I would say that generally, I think the basic desire of the people all over the world is to live in peace. I don't think, I don't think anyone really desires to have to live in a situation where they feel like they got to go and shoot people to get what they got to get. But unfortunately, it just seems like the time that we're living in where people feel that way, even though it's not the case. A lot of times people get tricked into believing that that's the case when it isn't the case.
Yeah. Do you see a time when maybe that will pass?
I hope so, really.
Yeah.
I hope that the grip, that whatever has the grip on the minds of the people, will eventually, the people will free themselves from that grip.
Yeah.
And realize what life is about, realize their kinship to one another, realize their relationship to God, and realize, what's really important in life, as opposed to the grip that's on everybody right now. It's the screen, I gotta have the latest screen.
Yes.
So everyone's looking at the screen, and life is passing them by all over here.
Each other.
No one, it's like, where's that human communication? Where's that love for creation? Where's that in tune with what's going on even in the universe? It's hard to be in tune when you're looking at a digital screen.
Yeah, it's so true. Everybody's got their own little going on with the fingers, the only thing with the fingers and the screen. Yeah.
And there's a time for that. I'm not trying to be hypocritical.
No,
I have my cell phone,
great.
I use my computer. I'm not trying to say, but I'm just saying, like, it's not the be all end all. It's not my main desire.
Human contact.
And I'm not going to rob anybody to go get no new phone.
I know. Like this week, speaking of that this week, in the news, in a school, like what were these boys thinking? They weren't thinking. That's crazy.
And this is a place where the children are supposed to be going to learn.
Yes, and feel safe.
Yeah.
And, but we thank heavens that they didn't come in there. They did come in with a gun, but it wasn't an AK, whatever it is, with the intention to shoot a whole bunch of people, like in Sandy Hook. But at least they come to the door with violence on their minds. That's crazy.
Over some material stuff.
Over some material
stuff. Some stuff.
We gotta
some plastic gadget.
There you go. We gotta brutalize them with music, reggae music. Bob said brutalize them with music.
Yeah.
So tell me something. After you had your first nomination for, did those DJs that a lot of artists complain about, that are very partial, that won't play Canadian artists, that are nepotized this business. If they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't play you. After the nomination, did they all flock to you to play you?
No. No, I would say because those nominations, I guess, for the Much Music Video Award, that was back in '92, so really it's a much different time now, and I think Canadian reggae is getting a lot more respect than it used to, I think.
Okay.
Canadian reggae, Canadian production, Canadian artists, they've really stepped it up on the level, you know what I mean? So where people like Carrie Mullings can actually have a program where she can do her whole program as Canadian reggae. I think in 1992 you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And if you did do it, your program would be horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, just that was the thing at the time. There was a lot of horrible Canadian reggae going on, whether it was the production skills, the engineering skills, because, it's quite an art. It really is a masterful art, and the foundation coming from Jamaica, even to the sound engineers, like you got sound engineers in Jamaica, that's all they do, and they've crafted that art over 10, 15, 20 years. That's something that cannot be really mimicked by a guy in a studio in Toronto who's never really even put his hands on it or really approached it from that direction. So, but that's changing a lot. Now you got a lot of guys in Toronto who have that knowledge, who are making studios. They're now at the board, they're back in control, because the industry is a lot different, where back in '92 or whatever, you had to go to a professional studio, which cost maybe $7,500 an hour, with your 2-inch tape that cost you how much, and then you're mixing, and right now everything's done kind of at home.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is done at, maybe not at home, but a studio that maybe somebody can have in their basement, or in a little apartment, or a rental unit.
And that's because the craft to make the music has been taken more seriously?
No, I would say it's advances in technology, really.
Okay.
So where the things where you had to go pay to be in a studio to get, to have access to those type of technological things, you had to pay the large money, where now it's like, that's a lot more accessible.
Yay to technology.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's not taking your knowledge.
That's true.
There's that aspect of technology that lets, I think it's very easy to just be like, oh yeah, what's the answer to this? Oh yeah, you look it up and you go, yeah, okay, that's it. And you never even think about it again. It's not really like you absorbed it.
Yeah.
It's just, it
I'll
was
go check to see if it's true.
Yeah, even that.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you can see a lot of things that really are true.
But it's the balance. It depends on what you want to use it for. You can use it for a bunch of evil things, or you could use it for a bunch of good purposes. Because now if you imagine, there's almost like every book that's in every university is almost at your fingertips now.
Yes.
So if you wanted to really learn about anything you want to learn about, you could.
You could. And that you know, that's why I like technology, because I think it's like the equalizer, you know, for people. Because for people, you know, I mean, if they can afford a computer, and they can basically touch the world.
Yeah.
You know,
where you might have had to pay $20,000-$40,000 to go to a university to have access to that, which
you know,
was,
or take a plane to go on some, you know. Now you
Yeah.
can just sit in your own little space and do your
Yeah.
thing. Because when I go to Jamaica, I'm always impressed when I see people with computer in their homes and how much they are able to access, you know, the world through that. And I really say, wow, technology, equalizer, yay!
Yeah. Yes.
So yay to Apple and all the people who go into it. Yay, keep going, because we need it. Well, you know, it's so funny because the Parachute Club was huge in the 80s here. And they also did some reggae stuff, didn't they?
I think one of their biggest songs, Rise Up, had a bit of a reggae feel to it. Yeah, it had a reggae feel. Rise Up. And it had the, you know, the video with them on the truck doing the kind of caravana thing.
Yeah. So they did have that.
Yeah.
So when you work with their producer, Billy Bryant, did that, you know, come to add essence to your style, or what was
Well, I think Billy was more kind of intrigued with what it was that I was doing.
Okay.
So it was like we linked up, and it was like, okay, well, what's the next thing that we could do? It wasn't. We weren't trying to follow the pattern of what Parachute Club had already done, or trying to live off of that. We were more like, okay, well, what's the new thing? What's the next thing that we could be involved with? And I remember him schooling me to this cat, Marcus. He's like, do you know this guy Marcus on CIUT who's got this jungle program? And I'm like, jungle program? I don't even know what you're talking about. So he was like, yeah, this new music that's coming out of England, this jungle drum and bass, man, and it's wild, man. And Marcus, this guy Marcus, and he does this underground nightclub gig, and it's so fresh and so vibrant and so young, and you got to check it out. So then he convinced me to like work with these cats in the UK to work on some like jungle drum and bass remixes of my reggae songs that I had just finished mixing and recording in Jamaica.
So what is it about jungle
drum and bass? Basically it was the newest form of reggae at the time.
Oh,
it was
really?
like this new form of like electronic reggae, and basically it was like the reggae beats, but they had all been sampled and played back at double time. So it still had the same feel like reggae, but instead it would go. So it had this whole other feel, and they were taking a whole bunch of like reggae samples from like Kilimanjaro Live Dance, Ricky Trooper, you know, like saying something about Soundboy on the mic, and some Bounty Killer samples and Josie Wales. So it was like this new technological electronic form of reggae that was just real visionary at the time. So we got into that. He was kind of like instrumental. He was like, we should apply for this. We did this remix, and it was like, we're gonna apply for this video grant. We applied, we got the grant, and he was like, Billy Bryant was the one who said, we're gonna make this video with the drum and bass jungle remix, and it was like, all right.
So how did that feel? Was that readily accepted by the traditional reggae people, or did they?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. No, it was almost like a completely different scene, and it was cool because at that time I started to kind of just, you know, kind of explore the rave scene here in Toronto, and the reggae, because I had been into the reggae scene, say from about 1984, and this is about 1998 now. And at that time, reggae had kind of taken a bit of an ugly turn, where most of the music was about gun violence, some slackness, and some big gold chains.
Yes.
And I was a little bit disappointed with how things were going. This was kind of like pre-Garnet Silk era, you know what I mean? So like, pretty dark kind of gangsterism, gunshot, red, whatever. And I was kind of like, so I found this rave scene.
Right.
And when it was like, I kind of like bumped into this rave scene and found all these kids who were like all about peace, love, and unity, and blowing their whistle and lighting their lighter, and I was like, oh wait, this is what reggae used to be like, but now it's like this whole other scene. But they definitely were two different scenes. Like, you had a few little reggae heads might come to the rave parties, and a few little like the rave heads might come to the reggae parties, but
totally different people, totally different scenes.
Yeah, just different scenes.
Yeah.
You know?
So would that fragment reggae more than it was being fragmented with dance hall and lovers rock, and you know, like, was that fragmenting the whole thing?
No, I think it was just part of the evolution and the growth of it. I mean, you know, like, just as dancehall is, just as, you know. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what you would call the newest form of reggae, because I mean, dancehall is the latest name that they come with. But if you listen to a lot of the modern reggae nowadays, or the modern dancehall, it's not even like what we would consider dancehall. It's like it's very poppy. It's very almost ravey, very synthy, almost Euro.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those type of labels. I mean, if you're going to use labels to whatever slap on the music.
So we got to go back to roots rock reggae. I'm sorry.
Well,
roots rock reggae.
I love it. I mean, it'll never go away. It'll never die.
That's right. Conscious reggae, roots rock reggae. I like that. You know, with the drum and the bass, you can feel it in your body. You can feel it in your mind. And of course, with great lyrics that you can absolutely learn from. I mean, we have. This is where it's at. I think we got to stay there.
And like I say, they're just different scenes too, because as I was saying about the reggae scene and the rave scene, you can see that they're just two different scenes. People are into different type of things, and it's the same with like the reggae and the dancehall scene. You know what I mean? You're not going to really find a stage show that's got a bunch of like conscious reggae artists on it and the latest dancehall artists, because they're really two different scenes.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, you get to choose your poison, I guess, right?
Sure. Choose what you love.
Right. Now, we got to make them choose roots rapping, because that's I'm just partial. Now, you've also earned a Juno Award nomination for your work. So that's that's something, right?
Yeah, here it is right here.
Yeah, there you go. Your Juno Award nomination.
Juno Award nomination.
So they give you a
nice
certificate kind of.
Yeah, they give you the nice little certificate. I think I put it in the frame myself. But I was very proud of this. I mean, as far as living in Canada, this is our equivalent to a Grammy Award, really. So even to be nominated for that was a great honor.
That means people are listening and people are appreciating.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, it's still swept under the covers a little bit. You know, reggae still is not. They never give away the Reggae Award on the televised event. There's two different Juno events. There's the one that happens the night before the televised event, where they give, reggae and, jazz or whatever, instrumental, foreign French language or whatever like that. And then, but I would love to see reggae represented on the televised Juno Awards one. I think that's going to come. I mean, as you saw, they had the tribute to Bob Marley on the Grammys.
Oh, yes. So, yes, that's come a long way.
Yeah, that's come a long way. I never really expected Exactly. We never really expected to see that. So, maybe Canada will take note of that and be like, we need some reggae on our Juno.
And this is an invitation to the younger generation out there, right?
Sure.
I mean, the younger generation, you must understand that, there's roots to this song, there is credence, there's, demand, and then there's a need for the young to really, start taking up the mantle. Because, what happened is a lot of us who come here and have our kids, we don't really make it a part of their, their daily lesson to know about the culture and their heritage. And I think sometimes that gets lost in raising children in Canada. You don't steer them in that direction or give them the impetus to go find out.
And I mean, parents and children, it's a funny thing, because the things that we try to push on our children are the things that they go, I don't want nothing to do with that.
Until they grow older.
Until they grow up and then they realize the value of it. It's true. So it's a fine line. It's a fine line, but I know what you mean. It's like, our kids here, they grow up very Canadian because we live in Canada.
We live in Canada.
So unless they're very fortunate to have that magnetism towards reggae or towards His Majesty, you know what I mean?
Or their parents hold on to that culture no matter what. For dear life, and say, I'm not letting go. I'm going to teach my kids about it. I'm going to let them know.
And then the kids are just like,
I know. And I say to them, when they talk about Israel to their children, I got to go to Israel. I got to go and, support. I got to go and be a part of it. When I talk to Jamaica about my kids, I want them to say, yes, I'm going to go and support. I want to be a part of the society. Just the other day, my daughter was saying that she wanted to take out her Jamaican citizenship. That is
lovely.
That is, it is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that means I'm doing a good job making sure they hold on to the culture, because I love that, you know what I mean? And that's what we were born with. And I love the fact that you here feel it, embrace it, love it, and give it honor.
Universal honor.
I love it. So we have to hold on. Well, this has been terrific. Now I know that you're also blending your reggae music with hip hop as well and metal, because you really want. You basically want to get your art out there.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm blending my music with hip hop and metal, to tell you the truth.
Okay,
they're probably reading something off the bio. I used to be in a group at one time called Raga Death.
Okay.
And Raga Death was a blend of hip hop, metal, and reggae. Mm-hmm. It was a project that I worked with for a couple of years. But my sound is really straight reggae. Yeah, it's just all reggae.
Got it.
But I mean, that was a great group, and I was fortunate to be with that group for a while. That was fronted by Mishi Me, legendary queen of hip hop in Toronto. So big up Mishi. She has actually got a really wicked new video called Bad Gal Bubble. You want to check that one?
Nice,
it's real
nice.
tough, real
Maybe we
tough.
can have her on the show sometime.
Oh, you want her up here?
All right.
No doubt. I'll give you the links. But,
all right, very good.
But yeah, no, but my sound is real straight. I mean, people ask me, what is your sound? And if you, I guess from you check it, it's modern roots reggae.
Yes.
Like it's roots reggae, but it's not a bunch of old standard rhythms, and I'm not trying to recreate. Yeah, there's something new about it, but it's roots reggae.
It's roots reggae.
Yeah.
Got it. So you're gonna do human rights for us now.
Sure.
All right. So you go over there and get ready. I'll tell the people about human rights.
All right.
Excuse me. So here again to perform for us. Here again to perform for us. Yes, is Friendliness doing human rights.
It's track 11. Yeah, I think you want in there, or maybe 11.
11. Yes.
But it's the instrumental, so you want the right instrumental.
Excuse me.
Sorry, we should have had this queued up for y'all.
I know. I'm sorry about the delay, but
live TV.
Hey, it's live.
Reggae
We're
Network.
doing it. That's right.
Television. ReggaeTelevisionNetwork.com.
That's right.
On the fly.
And here I am coughing again. Please welcome Friendliness doing human rights.
All right, give me the next track. No, we want the instrumental, so it's the next track. All right. All right. United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, 1968, declare it. All human beings are born free and equal rights and dignity. Let's have friendliness and human rights. ReggaeTelevisionNetwork.com. All right, check it out. Remember this one? Surrender your heart and not your garment. The truth is there for who have eyes to see. Rastafarian, partiality has no place in this judgment. Remember the words of prophecy. Lord, so children run, come to human rights. That's what we're about. You know the human rights. So run what did you do the children? I say you know the human rights. That's what we're about. And they should know. No. Sight. We're giving some truth and human rights and give some justice. Live this, we love this, we love this, we live this. We're giving some truth and human rights and give some justice. That's not the place of why you listen to that lyrics, yeah. We're giving some truth and human rights and give some justice. Live this, we love this, we love this, we live this. We're giving some truth and human rights and give some justice. That's not the place, hey yo. Cause I'm a ganja praiser, a ganja blazer. Shop like a razor, perpetual. With the fader and the equalizer, organizer, atomizer. The vibes riser, freedom fighter, the lyrical stalker, and the step over top paper. Rasta dan, dapper dance, dada, busy father. I'm the teacher, not a preacher. Every reacher, and a big reacher, and we feature reggae music, classic juniors, big a day tripper. Wings clipper, no shatter can bada. They don't know what the sugar. Sweeter, the girls love her, and I'm smoother. Big up to all the crew, we are the soother, we are extra hard worker, originator, real innovator. So wrap up a paper in the school graduator. Greater and greater, bigger and better. This one sharper and deeper. We are smasher, crusher, baseline pressure. Triple is a neck and a drum and bass pusher. Everyday user, still not a loser. Don't come to confuse ya, but clear up the picture. Lyrical danger, friendly stranger, master chiller, celebrate killer. Yes, me at the jungle is gorilla, no filler. Killer, silent killer. Originally brought to you by the man Johnny Osborne, Studio One, Josh Santard, Juice and Rights. So we do it in the modern age, a little bit different, human rights. Friendliness and the human rights. Be on my phone, Tracer. ReggaeTelevisionNetwork.com. Right. Johnny Osborne say, so children say a little prayer, yeah. Oh yes, yeah. Every night before you go to sleep, 'cause tomorrow is promised
this, we live this. But give me some truth and human rights, and give me some justice. Passing on the case, and why you listen to the lyrics, yeah. Hey, give me some truth and human rights, and give me some justice. Live this, we love this, we love this, we live this. But give me some truth and human rights, and give me some justice. Passing on the place, hey yo.
Hey, wow.
Thank you.
That's great. Walk Reggae Rastaman.
Yeah, original.
Original. I love it. I love it. See, I know that is how it is. That is how it is. Now, I must apologize to the people for a little mishap there. My fault. I take responsibility. We didn't set it up right, but you did perfectly well.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta work with what we have, right?
Hey,
yeah.
You did well.
Thank you.
Ah, yes. We have one more coming up, so please stay tuned, because I'm telling you, this man's got it. I love it. So, we're going to talk about your tour of Western Canada in 2009.
All right.
Now, what kind of reception did you get across Canada for the music? And, what was your impression?
Well, I've toured Canada a few times, so doing it with human rights, it was a real pleasure, and the reception that we got everywhere we went. Like, people just love reggae. I mean, everywhere you go, people love reggae, and the reception that we got was a lot of commentary on the presentation that we bring, and people saying, "Wow, I like your band is just so tight, and the presentation is just so magical," and it was nice because we're not really like a cover band. We don't really go on the road and sing a lot of cover songs, so we're not really trying to rest on that laurel. Like, we're really trying to bring something original to
Fresh
the people.
and new.
Yeah, so to stand on your own merit and do your own thing and have people go, "Yo, I was really feeling it." Like, I've had people come up after our shows and be like, "Brother, that was like a spiritual, religious experience." That was like one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me, because I mean, just those are the type of vibes we're trying to channel through the music. So for someone to be, we hear that a lot. So reception was great. Canada's a beautiful place. I don't know if you've ever been out to the West Coast, but
I haven't.
Oh man, the mountains out there are so beautiful. You have some beautiful, pristine, clear water lakes, and you just go drink it. You know?
I gotta go. I gotta do this. Gotta do this.
Beautiful wildlife, and it's a beautiful place, and vast, like bigger than you could possibly imagine.
I imagine.
Yeah.
And then of course you bring them the sweet sounds of this music, and they're seeing this great, landscape. It must really make it feel good.
It goes nice. It goes really nice. Like the tour we were on actually last year, kind of the farthest west we went was a place called Winlaw. It was in the Slocan Valley, and the show that we were performing on this big outdoor festival. So the time we were going on stage was like just as the sun was going down. We're on the stage, it's full of people in the crowd, and you're looking and you can just see the silhouette, of the mountains and the zillion stars, and it was in the forest and the trees. And,
something almost biblical.
That's the real wealth. Right
you see the three wise men,
in the hills, burning their herbs, chanting, dancing,
and I imagine you get great herbs out there too.
Great herbs out there. Like, I mean, that area of Canada is renowned worldwide as having some of the best herbs in the world.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I have to go.
Definitely, I recommend it.
Oh, that's wonderful. So talk to us about your new CD, what you're preparing for 2013.
Well, yeah, we have since the last CD that we released was 2010. So since then we've released a few singles, and we've got a few new songs that we're working on. Some songs that we're really happy with and we're really excited about. So we're going into the studio probably over the next couple weeks, lay down the beginnings of the tracks, and hopefully they'll be ready by summertime.
That's great.
We always say that, and it always ends up being 3
know.
months or 6 months later. But
people understand. Great works take time.
Well, we have a plan. Jah has a plan. It always goes Jah way. So
that's so true. And he has the definitive final word.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, and when it's time to come, nothing can stop it. But before its time comes, you can't force it. Right?
So true. Yeah. Absolutely. It's so true. You can't force it, but you can't stop it.
No.
Just like His Majesty. You can't force him, but you can't stop him either.
That's right.
I love it. Well, okay, so talk about your final song with us, and I have to say that, we really appreciate you coming, making the effort, and performing for us, because it took effort. You did it.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks very much. I live downtown, so it's a bit of a trot, and I took the TTC out here.
Yes.
But it was nice. It's like the sun shining, and the little walk from when I came off the bus on Shepherd. There's a little walk to come here, and there's a little ravine with a little creek, and I saw a bunch of nice little ducks. So I was feeding them. It was really, really quite beautiful. So no, I give thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Bless you on your works, and I hope that it goes well, and more love to the people, and strengthen up the reggae, and strengthen up the Rastafari,
Selassie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Because I tell you, when I realized you came by foot, TTC, and I thank God for the sun that's shining out there, and I thank God for the warmth. It's not minus anything. It's and He gave you a beautiful day to come here, and I'm really thankful.
Isis.
Wow. Okay, so talk to us about Ganja Man.
Well, this song was written, actually came about, it was like, it started off as just an impromptu performance of, I used to run this sound system called Super Heavy Reggae, now we call it Super Power. But there's a UK MC by the name of Demolition Man, who's got he's a very popular cat within that particular scene, but he was at our reggae dance one night, and my selector just put on an old Studio One track, and we were passing the mic back and forth, singing just, little herbs, a little ode to the herbs, you know what I mean? Just a little freestyle, I'm doing my little part, he's doing his part. And we made a recording of it, and it just sounded so great.
Yeah.
So for a while I was trying to get in touch with, I was in constant contact with Demolition Man, and I'm like, hey man, I would really love if we could record this song, but he was in England at the time. He's like, send me the track. I sent him the track, I waited back a couple months, I'm like, yo Demo, what's up with the track? He's like, oh, I lost the track, but I'm still into doing it. Send it again. I'm like, okay, go back to the studio, make another cut without his vocal in it, send it back to him, get ready to press the record. I'm like, Demo, I really need your vocal on this. He was humming and hawing, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna record the track without you on it, and I hope you don't mind. And he didn't, so he loved it actually. So this song was actually written by me and Demolition Man. It's a little freestyle ode to the herbs. You'll recognize some of the parts on it, because really it's kind of like a combination. It's a mashup of some great old ganja lyrics, or some other old lyrics kind of done over.
Homage to the ganja.
Yeah.
Yes. So I can't let you go without talking about the wise mind of His Imperial Emperor Haile Selassie the First.
A great little book which is actually compiled by His Majesty's grandson, Empress Selassie.
Yes.
And he went through His Majesty's speeches, and His Majesty has several books. They have several books compiled of all the speeches that His Majesty made. Maybe not all of them, because I think while the Derg was in power, they probably destroyed some of them. But there's still a great collection of the speeches of His Majesty, and his grandson, with access to all these different speeches, I'm sure he's just reading them continually. So there's these little glimpses of just pure wisdom that relate to. They're so universal.
Yes.
So work, peace, character, responsibility, self-help, Africa, religion, unity and brotherhood.
Wow.
Just little small clips, and it's just a great little daily reading book, great inspirations. Even you can take a little one quote, you could read a one page, you could read the whole thing.
Yeah. But it's something to have to really inspire you throughout the day, throughout your life. Anytime you need something, and you want to know what His Majesty
You don't have
said.
this one, do you?
I don't have this one.
You have it now. I'm gonna give you this one.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful.
I love. You know how many books? You know how many of these I've given away?
I can imagine. But I'm really thankful, and I'm keeping this.
Lovely.
This is good stuff.
Lovely.
So, you have been an absolute great guest for us. We appreciate you, and we'll be here to support anything you do. You are now welcome anytime you want to come by and tell the people what you're doing.
Well, thanks so much. See my name's up on the flag.
There you go. There you go. You signed our flag. So I just want you to know that we appreciate you coming here.
Thanks, Sandra.
We appreciate you giving us your talent this morning. So you go and you can say goodbye to the people, because this is it. And
thanks for having me on the program. I just want to say blessed love to one and all. ReggaeTelevisionNetwork.com. Stay tuned, support it, keep it locked. Some beautiful people here doing some beautiful works. More together.
There you go. See, I had to make you say that. Paid him well. So what track are we doing to this?
This one's called Old Ganja Man. You have it lined up? All right, we're ready to go.
All right. So that's track 13. Is it what?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
Healing of the nation. Yeah, you know what I mean? Dash away your pills. dash away all that alcohol and just come to the herbs.
That's
Herbs
right.
is life. Herbs is medicine. Herbs is food. Herbs is sharing. Herbs is togetherness.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Check this one out.
Friendliness, Ganja Man.
Yeah! Now this one dedicated to all who love the marijuana. Like the love is sold from corner to corner. Sight? Yeah! Right? Demolition man, that's a Rastafarian. Hold Ganja Man like me. Me smoke, me spit them in the shoes and tree. And everybody know me high already. Believe you me, you know the friendliness is a ganja baby. Ganja Man like me. Me smoke, me spit them in the shoes and tree. And everybody know me, and everybody know me, and everybody know me. Well, everybody know me. Yo, but I love to love me smoke, me spit them out. I tell me say me can't. 5, 6, 7, 8, split my way we are. Millions of man will find a hole and I your child war. 10 man won't split on the visa, yeah. Think me not gonna travel with a good quarter round. Anyway, the ganja say we never turn it down. Hey, the things so I say, you wear the crown. I love the friendliness, I want it down. Now we are the innings of the nation. And it put me in a deep meditation. It was found on the grave of King Solomon. But friendliness, I tell you son, I come to let you know that we are the innings of the nation. And it put me in iron meditation. It was found on the grave of King Solomon. But friendliness, I tell you son, I come to tell you I run my ganja every day. You would find a slip always in my ashtray. Friendly, me smoke my ganja every day. Me no rap a part play. Yo, yo. So me say, well give me the weed and let me chop it up, and give me the weed and let me wrap it up, Hey, give me the weed and let me light it up, and when me light it up, then I'm gonna pass it up, Hey, give me the weed and let me blaze it up, Hey, give me the weed and let me raise it up, King Selassie and me praise him up, In the dance with us, tell them say, I do not sip the coke, I only smoke the sensibilia. I do not sip the coke, I only smoke the marijuana. I do not sip the coke, I only smoke the sensibilia. I do not sip the coke, I only smoke. Well, I run the weed, 100% of me, you want no hatred and greed. Indeed, no, we not got that straight sense to see. 100% of me, you see the eyes can bleed. Indeed, yes, I smoke the weed. 100% of me, no want no hatred and greed. Indeed, no, me not got that straight sense to see. On the high grade, yo. No matter trouble, not to dread something. You shouldn't trouble, not to dread something. No matter trouble, not to dread something. You shouldn't trouble, not to dread something. And not to dread the wicked chalice and the king. And not to dread the wicked chalice and the king. A ting-a-ling. Right now, it's a sensory thing. Someone ganja man like me. Me smoke, me spit them in a 2 and 3. And everybody know me. Yes, everybody know me. And everybody know me. Well, everybody just
Friendliness. Bye-bye. Friendliness. Yes.
Love y'all.
Rastafari.